Okay, we're live. Zoe Flowers here, back with another reading. Okay, before I could even get it going, this card literally just fell out of the deck. I don't know if you saw it. So this is Lupe Velez, the 10 of Swords. Okay, so happy Sunday. I went to a sock hop last night. It was a fundraiser for an LGBT, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, BIPOC led organization in New Orleans. So I woke up still feeling a little of the sock hop vibe. So that's what we're doing. All right. So if this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. This is our lady of the day. I've never heard of Lupe Velez to date, but we do know that the 10 of Swords, and so that's interesting. Oh my God, Spirit is so amazing, as it always is, because so the word I heard was growth. And I don't know if you ever saw this movie. It's a comedy, and the psychiatrist, it was about, it's an older movie, and it was a married couple, and they were going to a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist wound up sleeping with the woman's husband. And I think the woman was Meryl Streep. It was. I can't remember who, the psychiatrist was Meryl Streep. I can't remember who the couple was. And when they were in therapy, she would always say, grow from love. Oh, I know what it was. It was She-Devil, I think, with Roseanne Barr. And the husband was cheating with either Meryl Streep or Shelley Long. I can't remember. Anyway, the psychiatrist would always say, grow from love. So that's what was in my mind, but I just wrote growth. And then we've got the 10 of Swords here. This is a much lovelier image than the typical 10 of Swords. The typical 10 of Swords, the person is laid out, honey, and the swords are just like flaying them. And they're like, oh my God, like, I can't take it anymore. Like, if one more thing happens to me. But remember, the swords has to do with thoughts. It's ideas. It's air. So, literally somebody just texted me and asked me to text them my phone number. I'm confused. I'm confused. Okay. Fam, you just texted me. That's hilarious. So, all right. Okay, let's get to this. Lupe Velez, the 10 of Swords, the moment where you think that's it. I can't take it anymore. I can't do anymore. And it's about change. It's about growth. It's like, don't give up. You're actually almost there. Oh yeah, wow, this deck is interesting. So she actually goes backwards. So in the traditional tarot style, you usually end with the pentacles. Many of them, you start with the swords, because the tarot is all about the path to manifestation, the fool's journey. And when we get to the minor tarot, it's like, as I said, the swords is thoughts. And so it's like, oh, okay, so the first thing we do is we have our thoughts, and that's the swords, right? The thought of change. Then we go to the wands, because wands is all about action. So it's thought first, then action. Then we put our emotions in it, and that's the cups. And then we have the final culmination in the pentacles. That's the way some decks are. For her, she's got the wands last, which is interesting. She's got the cups first. So cups, again, are emotions. And then she's got pentacles. Pentacles are resources. Then she's got swords. So I don't know. I love this deck, though. Some of the choices are just confusing to me. So for her, she has the 10 of Swords as ending, crisis, and betrayal. But again, that is not always what the 10 of Swords means. It can mean that, but it's also like just before the new beginning. Oh, here's the 10 of Swords right here. in the traditional, right? Very different than this, right? So it's like one of the reasons why we know that growth is possible and that this isn't the end, right? Is we have the water here. So we have new life. So just when you think you're dead, boom, there's the water, right? And even though it's so dark, look, we've got some yellow here. We've got some sunlight. All is not lost, right? So, but we will see what she says. Maria Guadalupe Velez de Villalobos was a renowned spitfire. From a very early age, Velez had a very naturally stormy personality, writes journalist Hadley Marys in Los Angeles Magazine. She could be hilarious and charismatic one moment and depressive and vicious the next. Okay, so this is my second. Yesterday, the woman had a major depression, Marie Curie, and now we have Lupe Velez. So also some issues. And then the other woman that we did, Dorothea Dix, I think is her last name. She was the second day. She had mental illness. There's a trend. She would dance and do skits for her family and their servants, and soon she was putting on impromptu shows for neighbors on the street. She got her start in show business in Mexico vaudeville, performing at various songs and dance reviews in Mexico City. Her racy performances quickly gained her a following. Hold on, just checking on my oatmeal. Okay, I think it's fine. All right. While her volatile offstage personality garnered her notoriety and publicity, in 1926, stage director Richard Bennett, who found out about her from an acquaintance who had seen her perform, invited her to play a cantina singer in one of his upcoming productions, and she came to Hollywood. But by the time she arrived, the part had been cast. In Los Angeles, she befriended Fanny Brice, who championed Lupe's talent. She recommended Lupe to Flo Ziegfeld, who hired her, and as she prepared to leave for New York City, MGM called her for a screen test. Lupe's first film roles were in comedic shorts like Laurel and Hardy's Sailors Beware in 1927. I mean, she is quite beautiful. That same year, she starred in her first feature film, The Gaucho, opposite Douglas Fairbanks. At first, the two stars disliked each other, but their disdain turned into a passionate love affair, and the film launched Lupe's career. According to Marys, Velez's performance thrilled moviegoers, critics, and studio brass alike. One New York Times critic wrote, "She gives blow for blow to the men who get in her way." Word got around the studio was, when she puckers up her lips, it's impossible to tell if she is going to kiss you, bite you, or spit on you. In 1929, Lupe rose to stardom when she acted alongside Gary Cooper in The Wolf Song. Like their characters who quickly became infatuated with one another, the two actors became lovers. Their intense relationship lasted for more than 2 years, during which time she displayed a range of passionate behavior. She once broke through the window of a departing train in order to embrace him, Lord Jesus, but she also cut him severely enough with a knife that he required stitches. Yikes! She also attempted to shoot him with a pistol. Now, Lupe, girl. In 1931, which was either in response to or marked the end of their affair. I don't blame him. According to Floyd Connor's 1993 book, Lupe Velez and Her Lovers, Cooper said, "You couldn't help but be attracted to Lupe Velez. She flashed, stormed, and sparked. But she objected to being called wild. She said, 'I'm not wild. I'm just Lupe.'" After she and Cooper separated for good, Tinseltown gossip linked her romantically to a few different leading men. In 1933, she married Johnny Weissmuller, the Austrian actor and Olympic medalist known for playing the title role in Tarzan. Their relationship was toxic, you think? And their frequent public fights became newspaper fodder. They separated 3 times, and Lupe cited mental and physical cruelty each time she filed for divorce. This public brawling damaged her image, and RKO Studios did not renew her contract in 1934. Uh-oh. By this time, the Production Code Administration, informing its moralistic, later to be called the Hays Code, for those of you that wanted to know that, enforcing its moralistic rules on what kind of content and people could appear in Hollywood movies. Lupe's dramatic reputation was decidedly bad for business. In 1938, she appeared in the Broadway musical You Never Know, which was a flop. She got into violent arguments with the show's other leading lady, Libby Holman. Michelle Vogel writes in Lupe Velez, The Life and Career of Hollywood's Mexican Spitfire. Okay, they ain't had to call her that. That when Lupe physically struck Hallman and called her names, co-star Clifton Webb intervened, pleading, "Lupe, you must not say such things. One day you'll turn them all against yourself." His warning implied that Lupe's anger was caused by a deeper agony. Of course, who knew what Lupe went through? Mexican lady in Hollywood, which is technically Mexico. You know, who knows what she'd have been through? According to Laura Haviland's 2015, Lupe Velez, The Tragic Tale of a Femme Fatale, romantic disappointment and a personal crisis exasperated by what had since been thought to be an undiagnosed bipolar disorder, spelled out disaster for Velez. However, Lupe was regarded as very generous and kind among most of her colleagues and friends. She owned many rescue animals, oh my God, including her precious dogs, Chips and Chops. Though her career had been declining, in the second half of the 1930s, Lupe was hired by RKO Studios to star in the Mexican Spitfire series of 8 films. Oh, okay, they called it the Mexican Spitfire. Okay, it was 1939. And you know what? At least she was getting work. 1939 to 1943. In 1944, she moved to New York City to try acting on stage again. It was there that she met unknown European actor Harold Ramon, who was nearly 10 years her junior. When Lupe became pregnant, she asked him to marry her, and he refused. Heartbroken and deeply ashamed at the prospect of being an unwed mother, 36-year-old Lupe ended her life. Mm, mm. On December 14th, her assistant found her dead in her Beverly Hills home. Lupe had dressed herself in blue silk pajamas, surrounded herself with flowers before taking an overdose of sleeping pills. Nearby, a short letter to Ramon. "I see no other way out for me, so goodbye and good luck to you." In a note to her assistant, she left instructions to take care of her pets. Lupe Velez's life and career were tawdry, dramatic, and raw as the pre-code Hollywood movies in which she starred. The 10 of Swords is a card that indicates the end of a cycle. Exactly. So hence growth. Though it need not signify the end of a life. Through the happy and painful seasons, we can change, adapt, and grow into new versions of ourselves. There's that growth. Boy, spirit is something else. There's that growth. This card's appearance in your reading might represent a low point during which you feel like nothing is going according to plan. Remember that this is just part of a cycle and a new one will inevitably begin. Ask yourself these questions. How can you be kind to yourself as you endure this difficult moment? Who will you choose to reach out to for support? What possible outcomes might your negative emotions be preventing you from looking forward to and anticipating? So there's definitely a theme here this week. So this is really hitting home for me personally, as did yesterday's, but I feel like today's, we started out the week with Ida B. Wells facing innumerable challenges as a Black woman in America. And now we have Lupe. We end the week with Lupe. And as an artist myself, I can definitely relate to not feeling appreciated as an artist, as a Black woman, not feeling loved, not feeling appreciated, not feeling beautiful, and just definitely dealing with depression. And this has been a tremendously difficult time for me, as my mother fell down the stairs several weeks ago, and she's been in a rehabilitation facility trying to get better because she broke 2 toes. And so dealing with the white people in the rehab has been a challenge. Fighting my own conspiracy theory leanings, my own ideas about the medical system as I advocate for my mother, who's going to be 80 in 2 weeks now, 2.5 weeks, figuring out where we're going to go, selling this house, trying to figure out where we're going to go, where it's going to be good for us as Black women, for me as an artist. It's been a lot. It's been really, really tough. And so I appreciate this 10 of Swords. And even I appreciate the little glimmer of sunlight there and the water there. And it's just the end of a cycle. So if you're struggling like I'm struggling, just know that this is for our growth. This is for our betterment. It does not have to be the end. It's just the end of a cycle. And we don't have to give up. We must keep on moving, right? We can get up again. As long as God, Goddess, the universe gives us breath every morning, we have a chance to begin again. And so that is my offering today. The lesson of the 10 of Swords is to look at where we do have power. Yesterday was the Magician reversed. Where do we have power? Our ancestors are here with us. Our spirit guides are here with us, telling us to keep our head up and be optimistic. I'm hearing now the song of Be Optimistic. Do, 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 do. What is that? I think that's what it's called. Optimistic. Sounds of Blackness. Never give up. I think I'm gonna listen to that after this. Don't give up on your dreams. Yeah, do, 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 do. Anyway, you don't need to hear me not sing. Thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed this reading, this Women's History Tarot of the day. This is timeless. So whenever you get this message, it is the perfect time. And just, if nobody told you today, know that you are loved. If nobody told you today, know that you deserve love. And I'll see you next time. Bye.